Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is Daily Drop number 228. Well, folks, we have finally run out of room in our storage area when it comes to the platform. I had to upgrade the account today to get more storage space. That way, we didn't lose any of the catalog. If not, I would have had to start erasing older episodes to add newer episodes, and that, my friends, is absolutely unacceptable. So now, with this new upgrade I did to the account, there's all kinds of new options on here for me as well, all sorts of new statistics to play with, etc., etc. So it was about time anyway to upgrade and add some more storage space, considering we are just beginning, right? So previously I had 500 hours of storage space, and we just absolutely have crushed that. So now I have added 1,000 more hours. That way, we don't have an interrupted catalog, we don't have episodes that have to get dropped off, and we don't have a story that has holes in it. Because I like to refer back to the catalog, even for myself sometimes, to take a look at where the story was, where it is, and where it is going. So it's the kind of resource that I didn't want to tap into and start getting rid of those older episodes. So the prudent move was to add more storage space. Now we have done that, and we are moving forward with tons of content. All right, tonight we have an article from the Santa Fe New Mexican, and this is an odd one, folks, okay? The headline, Couple Accused of Attempting to Steal from Epstein's Ranch. This article was authored by Amanda Martinez. Now, a couple of things right off the bat. I've been out to this ranch, and there is no access from the main street. There's not like a runoff or anything like that from the main highway. There is only the gate, the front gate, the main gate. And when I was there in February, like I reported, I did not see a soul moving around on the property for the 45 minutes, hour that I was there out in front. So it's kind of odd to me that all of a sudden, not only are people busted on this property, but there was actually security guards here. And again, what is going on with the estate still spending money on things like this? I don't understand why the estate is siphoning money away to continue to hire staff on the properties. Now, I guess I could understand security, right? Obviously, you want to make sure that things are on the up and up, and there aren't miscreants running around the property, damaging stuff and making it harder to sell off so the girls get their loot, right? But if there are other people on property as well, like gardeners and stuff like that, I've already been on record saying how I feel about that. I think that's straight up trash, and it's nothing more than siphoning money from the survivors and using it on things that are not needed. A couple moving from Artesia to Santa Fe were arrested Monday, accused of burglarizing Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch near Stanley. And again, it's crazy for me to think that they gained access to this property. I haven't read the article all the way through like usual yet, so I don't know if they're going to explain that. But from where I'm sitting and where I was at on the property, there's zero chance that you're getting in there unless, of course, you snip some of the cattle wire or something like that. But as far as an access road that runs into the property, I drove the whole entire length of the property, and I saw nothing bupkis ungats except the main entrance. Melanie Villegas, 25, and her husband, Daryl Carson, 31, face one charge each of non-residential burglary, possession of burglary tools, criminal damage to property, and larceny after Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies say they went onto property at 49 Zorro Ranch Road. Now, again, this is crazy to me, folks. As much as I would love to have access to that property, there is zero chance I'm hopping over any fences or any walls or anything like that and getting myself caught up with the jakes. Zero chance that occurs. But it looks like these people were hopping over, getting in there and looking to steal stuff from the property itself. I don't think they were trying to get into the house, But I'm guessing that they were trying to get into that little area where I showed you with those pictures, where you had like the yellow house, the red house, and it's where the ranch hands stay and guests stay. I'm guessing that they tried to get into there. The couple are suspected of breaking into a storage container and taking the radiator of a French antique Citroën car that was converted into a mirror with glass shelving, according to a statement of probable cause filed Tuesday in Santa Fe County Magistrate. The mirror is worth about $500. So these people hopped over the fence, gained access, however they gained access, to the Zorro Ranch, and they spent their time there trying to steal a radiator off of an antique car, a Citroën. This seems a little odd to me. Something doesn't add up here to me, folks. A little bit weird. I guess it could just be a case of burglary, right? I mean, look, this is a pretty remote place. And if people think that nobody is on the property, or that there are not as many people as should be guarding the property, then, there are crazy people out there that are going to do some wild shit, right? And this certainly looks like that kind of situation to me. This looks like some people that are crazy, right? Crazy, maybe have a drug addiction or something. I don't know. I haven't seen that in the article, but usually that's what motivates people to do something like this. When questioned by a deputy, Villegas said they decided to stop at the property because they recently watched a documentary about the ranch. So they watched Filthy Rich, and they thought it would be a good idea to go to Jeffrey Epstein's ranch and break in, basically, and steal a car radiator. Where does the radiator come into this? Where does that come into play? If their motivation was the documentary, don't you think they'd be trying to access something else, maybe looking for clues or something like that? Why would these people watch a documentary about Jeffrey Epstein and then think it would be a good idea to stop at the ranch, hop out of their car, and steal a radiator? In May, Netflix released a 4-part documentary titled Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich, which includes interviews with survivors of the convicted sex offender, pedophile, who died by suicide in late August while in jail in New York, allegedly. Several women have said Epstein raped them at the ranch while they were underage. And there's more than several, and there's not only the girls that have come out. We have talked to a lot of people with a lot of information about what went on at Zorro Ranch, and the fact that this place has not been raided yet, the fact that nobody has kicked in the doors of this place, is just beyond me. I don't even understand it. I can't explain it. And I don't even know what to say about it. All I know is that it's inconceivable to me that this place has not been raided. You don't think that there might be some evidence there? This is not a crime scene, considering all of the girls who had come forward and said that they were abused on this property? Never mind that. What about the witnesses? I cultivated my own sources, you remember, and they had intimate knowledge of what was going on in New Mexico. But yet here we are. We're talking about two people who hopped the fence, or however it is they gained access. We're talking about them being in trouble. While you shouldn't be jumping on people's property, for sure, and especially to steal a radiator, I think the bigger problem here is that this place has not been raided yet. Property security guard Amber Chavez was the first to spot Villegas and Carson when she noticed a black Dodge truck on the property, according to the statement. So this security guard, Amber Chavez, is living on the property, or is she patrolling? We don't have any context to what's going on with this security team on property, what their deal is, if they live there, any of that stuff. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper, and I'm going to try and figure that out. When she attempted to contact Carson, he tried to drive away, but she told him, "Don't do that. I have a gun and the police are on their way," the statement says. So she threatened to shoot them for driving away. Well, I'm not really mad at her for doing that. I mean, I guess you have to do what you got to do as a security guard. I think it would be nice if the police would show up at the ranch and, raid it. They could arrest the morons who broke into the property, of course. That's fine with me, whatever. But while you're there, officers, why don't you go ahead and bring yourselves a warrant, kick in a few doors, and see what you can come up with. Now, obviously, Anybody with a lick of sense understands that if there was any evidence on property, if there was any evidence in New Mexico at the ranch, you would have to think that it's gone by now, right? You would have to think that under the darkness of night or whatever it may be, those documents that were incriminating at the ranch have been moved because they've had all this time to do it. And in a real case, when people really care about what happened, every single one of his properties would have been raided at the same time, so shit like this couldn't have occurred. The couple told the deputy they got onto the property via a county road, but Villegas later said they lifted a post to open a fence, the statement says. Okay, well, I could see that. I mean, I guess there could be different entrances around the back way. I didn't see anything like that. You would really have to drive probably onto somebody else's property to do this. So I don't even know what to make of this or how they got onto this property, but obviously they got onto the property and they were caught by these security guards and they were held until the police arrived. Security guard Cynthia Cano said she observed a cut fence on the southwest corner of the property with tire tracks appearing to match those of Villegas and Carson's truck, according to the statement. All right, well, that makes more sense then, because there was no other entrances besides the one that I saw here at the front, so I didn't know what sort of fence post they were talking about that they could have picked up, but this makes a lot of sense here. You could definitely cut the cattle fence, the cattle guard there, and then drive onto the property 100%. Zero doubt about that. So that definitely makes a lot more sense. Although the couple denied having any weapons in their vehicle, a deputy found 2 firearms as well as a large set of bolt cutters and a small crowbar inside the truck, the statement says. So these people came well equipped, huh? They had bolt cutters, they had a crowbar, they had 2 firearms, and they show up looking to steal a radiator from a French car, huh? Seems to me that people like this would be up to a lot more. But again, who knows what their motivation was? These people, more than likely, obviously I don't have evidence to back this up, but more than likely these people were tweakers and they thought that this would be a good idea. Maybe they did watch the documentary, and maybe after watching the documentary they figured that nobody would be on the property, which is quite possible, right? And in their tweaked out state, they decided, you know what, let's roll up there and see what we could jack. They got in there and they figured, all right, well, this is all we could snatch, I guess. They got themselves the radiator. They were going to, looking around for miscellaneous stuff to gank and sell, and they were going to make off back to wherever they usually flip their stolen stuff so they could get their drugs. That's probably the scenario here, right? But again, we have no idea. And the fact that it's Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch that these people are sneaking onto, talk about crazy. Out of all the places that they could have chosen to sneak onto and look to steal some shit. And folks, there's a lot of properties, vast properties, that are probably a lot less secure than Jeffrey Epstein's. Why they wouldn't choose one of those properties is beyond me. But I don't know, folks. This is one of those stories where I seen the article and I was like, what in the hell? So I don't even know what to make of something like this, to be honest with you. On Tuesday, Santa Fe County Magistrate George Anaya Jr. released Villegas and Carson on $2,500 unsecured appearance bonds. Each has a docket call scheduled July 8th in Santa Fe County Magistrate Court. Well, folks, file this under things I do not advise you to do at any given time. Trespassing is probably not a good idea, especially if you're showing up with a burglary kit. Some people have no sense. As much as I would like to get a look at the Zorro Ranch, I don't even understand how anyone could think that this is a good idea, unless, of course, your brain is completely turned to mush by drugs. And that's the likely scenario here. But again, I thought that this would be a good add to the catalog, considering the property it happened at and considering how crazy all of this is. Who in the hell would ever think that 2 random people are going to snip some cattle guard fence and drive onto Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch property and end up stealing a radiator from a car? Talk about bizarro world. All right, everybody, if you'd like to contact me, you could do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. All right, everybody, until tomorrow, I hope you all have a magnificent evening.